就嗱，我嗰陣時教佢哋咁樣同我哋講，因為perpendicular嘅成分一定就係負一。
Okay.
You have a parallel gradient. M1 equals A， 第一題係 M1 equals M2， 第二題係 M1 乘以 M2 你我哋諗就係
係啊，exactly。We're just confirming. Just confirming.
M1
你飲得啖啊？呢個 orange juice。鮮榨。
The gradient of 6
all fresh fruits in my body.
So this is a graph with positive and it's negative, and you keep drawing the line. Action on. So, all the lines correct. M1 equals to negative 1 over M2. M2 equals to 1 over M1 equals to 1. Okay, negative 1 over.
Spread as a situation.
Oh, bang, not
I like that. Don't spread the misinformation here. So what was your own conclusion?
I mean, it's big pain.
And what is parallel?
Someone's an actual answer.
So now that he knows, you can spread the
喂 ，Cathy， 係嗰個 the gradient multiply together 係等於負一乘Number 3 question， 為什麼呢 ？Gradient times each other， 其實幫你嗰個 gradient 係3同埋4個。
唔係你將個 y 變入去，即係變到 y 啊。
哦，對。
你將因為佢 gradient 一樣，係因為 gradient 即係 y 等於3嘅屬性㗎嘛。呢個唔係呢個係 parallel 做第二題啦。你將佢變翻佢係唔係啊？我知啊，
Lord， 是真的。
So I'm going to put one more. After that, I need you to tell me what you think from your discussions. After which I can chip in some stuff. I believe you have done something like this in Form 2. Yes? Not entirely new. No. You forgot maybe. You're sure you didn't do it?
We didn't do it.
Will you standard or advanced? Will you standard or advanced?
Yeah, I was starting so much.
Right. Right.
I'm not smart, I'm not really smart.
Can you think about this and stuff?
I'm pretty good at
This question 5 should be easy, so
One with gradient.
first one.
I'll give it 5 more minutes. Yes. Okay. How many have you guys done?
What C?
It makes sense. Okay? It doesn't make you that
I don't expect you guys to remember.
Why can't you then? But this
Okay,
But this
guys.
有冇用啊？
Guys, let's do this together quickly.
Business formula 咯。
Let's do this together quickly, please. A couple of things we have forgotten, which is okay to forget as long as you pay attention now and you do not let that forgetfulness affect your IUCSC exam. That's where I have a problem. I don't have a problem with you forgetting things. Okay? I have a problem when you forget in November. First, Ryan, could you repeat what you said about this?
Right.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
It's alright. You didn't repeat what you said about the first one.
If the line is perpendicular, it's m1 equals negative 1 over m2.
Okay, so no, let's start with parallel. First one.
It's all parallel. It has the same gradient.
So if two lines are parallel, they have the same gradient. So what is the relationship now?
M1 equals M2.
M1 equals M2. And if they are perpendicular, it's said M1 is negative 1 over M2, right? Why it's said it is because if two lines are perpendicular, the product of their gradient is always negative 1. Again, if two lines are perpendicular, the product of their gradient is always negative 1. So this is where Banye got the relation M1 is minus 1 over M2, like that. So basically, all you need to do, if the gradients are the same, if the lines are parallel, just copy and paste the gradient. If they are perpendicular lines, flip it and change the sign. So I have, Isaac, are you here?
Or lost.
Don't be lost. If M1, for perpendicular lines now, if M1 is 3, what is M2, class? Negative. Good. If M1 is minus 4 over 5, what is M2? 5 over 4. Just flip it and change the sign.
Oh.
You know what flip is? I'm not like gymnast or something. Flip and change the sign.
What is
Because they must multiply back to give you negative 1. So for you to get an answer that is negative, one of them has to be positive. So this is the essence of changing the sign. Okay? So if you multiply minus 4 over 5 now by 5 over 4, you get negative 1. So that's why the idea is flip and change the sign. Flip and change the sign. That's all you need to remember. I do not expect you to show me this. For example, you are looking for the second gradient and you say, oh, M2 times that is equal to minus 1. M2 is minus 1 divided by that. If I see this, this is wasting my time. I'm just going to cancel everything. So don't try to impress me with this. I'm not impressed with this. Okay? Just flip and change the sign. Now, the major thing I need to see is your detailed, logical approach to solving problems. I don't expect you to show me why LCM of 2 and 3 is 6. Come on, this is from 3. I will expect that from someone in PC because I need to know how they are thinking. Okay? Alright. So again, do not forget, M1 and M2 multiplies to give negative 1 if they are perpendicular lines. So we will probably take note of that here. Now another thing is, how do you find equation of line? Your syllabus is not as, how do I say it? Unlike coordinate geometry syllabus, it's very wide, it's broad, there's so many things you need to learn. Yours is very direct, you just need to learn equation of lines. You need to know relationship between parallel and perpendicular lines, which I think we have been able to remember now. And if you didn't do it before, when two lines are parallel, they have the same gradient. When two lines are perpendicular, the product of their gradient is negative 1. You might say you were not taught in Form 2. I'm very sure you were taught in Form 1. Because I taught my students, I taught my student in Form 1, my current Form 1. In Form 1. If I taught you in Form 1, then I did teach you this in Form 1. Because it's still the same textbook we're using. We're still following the same course outline since 2 years ago when you were in my class. So I'm very sure you were taught in Form 1. So you probably forgot. Anyway, so again, if two lines are parallel, you have that. If they're perpendicular, you have that. So now look at this. Question 2. Are these lines parallel or perpendicular? Has anyone done it? What will be the first thing you need to do to determine if they are parallel or perpendicular? What is your goal? That's not your goal. That is how to achieve your goal. What is your goal, really? To establish the connection between their gradients. That's the goal. Because we have just reminded ourselves that if the gradients are the same, they are parallel. If the gradient multiplied to be -1, they are perpendicular. So when the question is, are they parallel or perpendicular, you want to establish the connection between their gradients. Okay? Then that leads you to the first class that we had. Our first lesson was on Wednesday on this topic, if I'm right, where we talk about the gradient of a line. That's one page worksheet. Remember that? So how do you find the gradient of a line from the equation? That's where your comment comes in, Justin. So can you repeat what you said? Make the... Sure. Make... Come on, think. You said make the coefficient of y. No, that's not what you're saying. Make the coefficient of y1. But that's not it, because in this problem, y plus x equals -5, the coefficient of y is 1, but still that doesn't solve my problem.
Make it into the form.
Make it the subject of the formula. Make y the subject of the formula. That's what he wanted to say. Alright, so you make y the subject of the formula and establish your gradient. Who has done number 2? Okay, so did you get parallel or perpendicular? Parallel. Okay, because the gradients are the same. Alright. Did you do number 2? So what is the problem? Thinking about life? Chicken? Oh, you don't eat chicken anymore.
She does. She had salami.
You had chicken?
Murderer.
What happens to being vegetarian? Oh my God!
Give up so easily.
I give up so easily. Alright, listen. So this is the way I want this presented. Are these lines parallel or perpendicular? So you pick them one after the other. So I pick the first line, y equals 3x plus 5. This is already made the subject, right? And I just established that, oh, my first gradient is 3, period. Right? Then I go to the second line, 2y minus 6x plus 8 equals 0. Then I do what Justin said, make y the subject, which I believe everybody remember. 2y will be 6x minus 8, am I right?
Yeah.
Have I made y the subject yet? No, what do I do next? Divide by 2, then y will be what? 3x minus 4. Then from here, I can get my second gradient. So you use this substrate to tell us the first and the second. That's why it is called M1 and M2. Okay? So my M2 is what? 3. And I need you to comment on why you are concluding they are parallel. Since M1 equals M2, then they are what? Parallel lines. That's it. Does that make sense? So I expect you to conclude this way. Since M1 equals M2, then they are parallel. So in the second problem, are they parallel or perpendicular? They are perpendicular, isn't it? So same way you get the first gradient, set the second gradient, and do M1 times M2, and check if there's -1, and you say, oh, in that case they are perpendicular. Okay? Alright. Who has done question 4? Who did question 4? Question 3, sorry. Who did question 3? Okay, lots. All right, good. So let's do it together, just to be sure of what you did, particularly how you present your work logically, neatly, and of course, putting the right information out there. Okay. Now, what do we do first? Equal the subject. So 3y will be what?
7 minus 4x.
7 minus 4x. Yeah. It doesn't have to be the first one, but of course you can do that. Negative 4x plus 7. And when I divide by 3, what do I write? Y equals? You don't need to tell me 2.3333. No decimals, please. Some of you are too reliant on calculator, and that's bad. Then minus what? 4 over 3x or 4x over 3. So from here, what is m1? Negative 4 over 3. Not 4 over 3. Negative 4 over 3. Alright? From the second one, 4y, 3x plus 12, or 12 plus 3x. It doesn't matter. Then from here, what do we get? 3 over 4x plus 3. So what is m2? 3 over 4. Okay? Then I will conclude by saying, since m1 times m2, what is my m1? Negative 4 over 3 times 3 over 4 gives me what? Negative 1. Then what happens to this line? They are perpendicular lines. That's it. Okay? So this is what I've asked of you in question 1 to 3. Now, question 4 and 5, I'll skip 4. I go to 5 first because 4 is more of applied, and there are so many applied questions I will write after this for us to try. So before I go into that, question 4 is talking about gradient from this. Actually, we should establish equation of line first. Now, do you remember how to find equation of line from your previous grade? Can somebody give me one way to find equation of line?
Get 2 points.
Get, quadratic formula? Equation? No, I mean straight line.
y2 minus y1 x2 minus x1.
That's a gradient.
Oh wait, no. I'm so smart.
That's what it is.
Again, say that again. No. That is you finding the gradient from y equals mx plus c. I'm asking, how do you find the equation of the line? There are ways of finding it. So just give me one that you remember. Please pay attention now. I can see a lot of you are distracted. You want to just joke around with person beside you. This is really important. And that is the last thing you need to learn from this topic. Yes, Candy? I need you to pay attention. Again, please.
You find the y-intercept, which is a c, and then you find a gradient, which is an m, part of the mx, and then you put y equals mx.
So that's one way. She is talking about equation of line. There are ways of finding equation of line. One way, what she has talked about, we call it gradient-intercept form. What that means is, for you to find equation of line in this form, you must know the gradient and you must know the y-intercept. Do you guys remember y equals mx plus c? Yeah. So if the question gives you the gradient and the y-intercept, you just substitute into y equals mx plus c. That approach is called the gradient-intercept form. So here, you have your y equals mx plus c. So you must know m, it will be given, and you must know c to be given, directly or indirectly. Which other way do you know? Substitute what? It can be given a point as well. We call it gradient point form. Another way is gradient point form. So the gradient point form means you'll be given the gradient and a point that passes through. We'll solve examples now, okay? And another one is the 2-point form. Of course, gradient point form also, uses y equals mx plus c approach. So with the 2 points, with the 1 point given, you have your gradient. With the 1 point, you can find your c. We will see it now using example this 5. And the last one I want you to know is the 2-point form. For the 2-point form, you'll be given 2 points that the line passes through. If you are given 2 points that the line passes through, you establish the gradient, then you use any of the points and the gradient point form approach. So they are kind of connected in this way. So I'll take examples in each of these to show you how it works. Okay? You don't need to memorize anything. Just know that the equation of line is y equals mx plus c. How you establish y equals mx plus c is, you know, sometimes it's a problem. Sometimes if you do not want to use this might be a bit complex for some of you and maybe not for the rest. You can use that approach. I'll show you how it's being used. Okay, so I would love to get rid of that. Fine. Yes, just take it up a little bit. Point, bro.
I think it will do
Yeah,
structures.
just my hand might be. I'm not like some people.
Wow.
You know, like some people. I haven't mentioned Ansin or Rita, okay? I never mentioned names.
Did you just say?
Or Candy, for example.
Joey.
Alright, wait, I haven't mentioned names, seriously. Or Jamila, for example.
Oh, Candy's looking at you.
Like, what is this saying? I'm not that short. That's what she's been like, wait, are you saying I'm short?
Oh,
No.
I just heard my name.
We only have people, we don't have short people, okay? We only have people who are afraid of heights.
we don't
We don't have tall people, we only have people that are greedy of heights.
No, we
Yeah,
put
go.
it down to earth.
Yeah.
Oh, down to earth people, I like that. Anyway, so look at this. Good. Is everything alright?
Sorry, that was kind
Grab my belly.
What?
Alright, for the gradient-intercept form, you're going to have problems like this. Let's see some problems now. Find the gradients, find the equation, sorry, of a line with gradient 2 and y-intercept. Y-intercept 3. These are not the only ways, alright? We even have double intercept form, but you don't need to worry about that. So from here, what information do we know? We know the m is 2 and the c is what? M is what? C. And C is what? 3. What does C represent? Y-intercept. So we go to the equation, y equals mx plus c, and it becomes y equals 2x plus 3, and that's it. Okay? So when you have the gradient and the y-intercept, just substitute into y equals mx plus c. Okay? So I need you to try question B.